2024 is finally here, and that means the GOP primary season is about to begin. Kickoff is in less than 2 weeks with the Iowa caucuses, and then just a few days later, the ever-important New Hampshire primary. But with former President Trump holding such a substantial lead, can victory in the early states turn the tide for his top rivals? Our Jay O'Brien takes a look at why so much campaign focus goes into January's Iowa and New Hampshire contests and what it means to voters.
Enjoy your breakfast. Take care.
If you've never interrupted somebody's meal at a diner in New Hampshire or flipped pork, steps away from the butter cow at the Iowa State Fair, then chances are...
I'm Vivek. I'm running for U.S. president.
You've never run for president. This month, Republicans in Iowa will hold their caucuses. In New Hampshire, they'll go to the polls for their primary. Meaning in just a few weeks, the path to who will win the 2024 GOP nomination is expected to be a lot clearer. In this crunch time, the thinning field of White House hopefuls are going voter to voter.
Debbie, nice to see you.
Trying to pick up momentum. While former President Donald Trump, facing 91 criminal charges across 4 state and federal cases, still dominates in the polls.
Those of us who believe that you get ahead in this country.
At a town hall in New Hampshire with Vivek Ramaswamy, we met voters who wanted to hear what the entrepreneur-turned-candidate had to say, but largely had their minds made up.
I'm still probably going to vote for Trump unless something happens. You know,
Why is that?
he's already gone through everything they can throw at him, and he's still alive.
I mean, he's in numbers that are just, I mean, I think it's really his to lose at this stage of the game.
I think Trump's going to win.
What about the other candidates, the Haley's, the DeSantis?
Haley I do not like. DeSantis I like, but his personality, he needs more of a personality, I guess.
Get used to this face. I'm going to keep showing back up.
Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley has been surging in the polls, picking up a key endorsement from New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu.
Hello, New Hampshire. I'm thrilled to be back in your beautiful state.
But like every candidate, she's still trailing Trump by double digits. Telling our Jonathan Karl on ABC's This Week.
I think this election is important for Republicans and Democrats. I mean, you see Democrats are just as worried. You got 75% of America that say they don't want a Trump-Biden rematch.
In Iowa, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is pouring nearly every dollar his campaign has into outperforming expectations there.
Whip up some more votes for us, thank you.
He's endorsed by the Hawkeye State's Governor Kim Reynolds, a solid second place since announcing his candidacy. The Florida governor has recently sagged to third in some polls, but vows to fight on. But Iowa doesn't technically have a primary. Voters there caucus. To pick their candidate, Republicans in Iowa gather in school gyms like this one. Others go to places of worship. Some go to private homes. Unlike a primary in a state like New Hampshire, the polls aren't open for most of the day in Iowa. Voters have to show up on time at 7 p.m. They first listen to speeches on behalf of the various candidates, and then they write down who their choice is on paper ballots. But they do it in a big room that's full of their friends and neighbors, so peer pressure is a real factor. Those paper ballots then get counted on site, and the results are reported to the state Republican Party. Polling in the single digits, candidates like Ramaswamy, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson are under pressure to drop out.
How you doing, sir? You serving in the Rochester Police?
Back in one of those classic New Hampshire diners, meeting table after table, Ramaswamy told us he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
A lot of people came up to me afterwards and said that they changed their mind. They were unsure when they came in, but they came out as vehement supporters, precisely because of what they said was that disconnect between who they see on
the
TV.
debate stage.
Yeah, and
who's a little aggressive.
I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And
Absolutely, and I think you need a president who can be a fighter, who's not going to roll over when they're hit. My own teaching that came from my parents is you have to be strong enough to protect your kindness. And I think some of that inside doesn't come across necessarily on a 30-second TV hit. Or
yeah, when people watch you on the debate stage, the word kindness doesn't come to mind.
Well, I think toughness does.
The reality here is that former President Donald Trump is still favored to win in both Iowa and New Hampshire, despite skipping every debate so far.
We're going to very simply make America great again.
These candidates are likely battling for second place. That means the expected Democratic and Republican nominees will both be in their 80s after a 4-year term, a fact that voters we met were keenly aware of.
I voted for Biden last time, but you need presidents that are younger. You can't have candidates that are 78 or in their 80s.
When they start losing their facilities, then they ought to be smart enough to resign.
It's not fair to me as a young person to watch older people corrupt my life.
President Biden now preparing for his first official campaign stop of 2024 this weekend in South Carolina, after mainly using official White House events in key battleground states to tout his accomplishments.
America's having infrastructure decade.
This election, Democrats reshuffled their primary calendar, officially putting South Carolina before Iowa and New Hampshire. But the Republicans didn't. And if you're wondering why GOP White House hopefuls spend more time with voters in these two states than anywhere else, it's easy. They're first. Winning over enough Iowans or Granite Staters can prove to the rest of the country a candidate has what it takes. Just ask New Hampshire 9-year-old Hannah Kesselring, who, with the help of her parents, has attended an event for every single Republican candidate, even asking some tough questions.
You can give me at least 3 reasons why you think and some others, Haley supporters think that you should be elected president.
Which candidate stood out to you?
I really like Nikki Haley and Christie, but that's just my opinion.
Are you guys truly undecided voters?
So when we started this process, I'll be honest with you, I was like full-fledged Trump. And what Hannah had made me realize is I'm going to listen to everybody.
She's a little too young to cast a ballot herself, but smart beyond her years, Hannah has a message for the rest of us.
You can't complain if you don't vote.
And the young shall lead us. She has a point there. Our thanks to Jay O'Brien for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.